Welcome everybody to another episode of Dino Times. Yes, it has been a little bit of time since a new episode, but the paleo news kind of has been a little bit light here. That being said though, we're going to be diving into a review for this episode of Dino Times. That's right, spoilers ahead for Jurassic World Chaos Theory, the final season. This is going to be season 4 on Netflix, which by the way, again, go check out the whole series of Chaos Theory. And if you're caught up but you haven't seen season 4 yet, do yourself a favor, go watch season 4. It is beautiful. All right, we're going to get into season 4 now. Again, spoilers ahead, everybody. Before that though, let's also be sure, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Dino Times, more media stuff like pop culture things such as Lore Pod, as well as any video game playthroughs I keep on playing. Jurassic World Evolution 3 has been out, and slowly but surely doing a little bit of playthroughs of that. Now, diving back into it, we need to know, everybody, that Chaos Theory has come to an end, and I have to say right off the bat here, it ended great. I think it is a good 9 out of 10 show for me right now, and it's tough, right? Like, it's tough. I hate to just breathe in the mic like it's some ASMR going on over here, but it's really tough because, like, this is the end of course, Trevorrow's universe. We had Jurassic World Rebirth come out, which takes place a few years after this because season 4 takes place during Dominion. The events of Dominion tie into the season, which of course they've done before in Camp Cretaceous, the Jurassic World movies, and it's the events coincided and shit. So that's not really a surprise too much that has happened. But it's like one of those, like, if these characters went around the corner, they would have met Alan and Ellie and all that shit. That being said, that's kind of one of the things that irks me a little bit, but if you hear the behind the scenes interviews on the Jurassic Park podcast, that makes sense, honestly, because like it's a whole legal thing, it's a whole money thing. So when you hear about that, you're like, okay, that makes sense of why we're not seeing it. But from the story standpoint, you're like, walk around the fucking corner, or like someone see him at the airstrip, for the love of God, like something, please. But hey, that's just one of my irk things, but that's also a lot of behind the scenes work that causes a lot of issues. So we are looking at, though, something that, of course, we're going to get this Dino Times. We talk about science of paleontology and shit like that here on the channel, but we're going to be diving into story a little bit first and then to dinosaurs. We are looking at something here, though, for the storyline that wraps up pretty great in the sense here. Yes, it ties into Dominion. Yes, it does that too, but it gives us something new. Like, it actually, again, with Ben being hit with a thagomizer in his stomach, and he's bleeding out for like 4 episodes, which suspenders of disbelief on that, but he starts hallucinating. He starts, seeing shit, and even mentioned at the end, he did die. Like, his heart stopped for a couple of minutes. So, like, it wasn't like he would have died. No, he did. Like, his heart did give out because they probably got to the hospital and he died, and they probably had to do CPR on him and shit like that too. Like, it was not good, but him that coaxing along, you see all that there too, really added some stakes to the storyline, and I really appreciated that too, because we have a couple of seasons where we're like, all right, none of these guys are gonna die, really. It doesn't feel like it too much, but for this one it did, right? It really fucking did. And if the writing was on point with that in general, like the writing was on point with giving us a good story, allowing us to explore Biosyn Valley, which is where all this takes place, a whole lot more, allowing us to see stuff like a veterinary hospital, which I loved. The Dilophosaurus who had eye surgery, so there's a little cover on his eye, like small shit like that. As an ex-zookeeper, I appreciate very fucking much, right? Like, I really appreciate that sort of thing because that would be there. It would. And then we get to see more of like the towers, also our research centers, which they were just kind of like observation towers, they call them. But like, no, there's one that has a data center. Like, there's one that houses this, and they're all going to be looking at research. Like, it's a whole thing with that. Like, that was really fucking cool. And there's still the underground tunnel system, like how it all works and operated like a sanctuary kind of facility. Like, it actually felt like it more than it did in Dominion, which is wild to me. But these characters also that there's going to be some people listening to this and watching the show, really, that have grown up with these characters that are like teenagers when it comes out. Now they're adults because they were teenagers when Camp Cretaceous came out, like 5-6 years ago. And now they're adults, right? Or maybe they're going to be kids that are growing up now watching this sort of thing, which, by God, Jesus, now they're teenagers, like whatever it may be with it. Like, it just shows that this has been 2 shows now, and few seasons, 4 or 5 seasons in each, and we have this progression of characters where, like, yeah, the beef was still there, but we're able to put it down for survival and not really play that stupid, like, I'm so mad at you game. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of that there, but if they need to do something to survive, they can easily put down their feelings and shit, like a person would. Well, at least a person who wants to live. And we're able to see that, and we're able to see everybody come to a satisfying conclusion with this as well in this show, which I don't get too often in a lot of shit. So it's really nice to see that our characters had a conclusion. The ending scene of, as they were mentioned in the Jurassic Park podcast, it was like the Fast and the Furious family dinner. I love that. Like, They're in a cabin. They're working with Dr. Wu now. Sammy and Yaz, Darius and Kenji are living together, probably doing outdoor shit, helping out with dinosaurs still on the mainland. And then like Ben is with his girlfriend now, probably still in recovery because he's in a wheelchair at this point too. It's not like he's walking around like, I healed everybody. I'm still in a wheelchair and I have a giant briefcase of medication because I died. Like it is really like that too. We got to see him, become full circle. Like we got to see characters. If we look back at what we saw in beginning of Camp Cretaceous season 1 to what we have there, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have said there's no way writers are going to be able to make this work, but they did, and it's insane. I know you all are here for the dinosaur sort of stuff too, but I just got to talk about that because these characters, I've been watching them for years and it sucks. Now we're not going to get any more here because I believe all the voice actors did a great job. The animators, the writers, all of them here, great, beautiful job. And I hope to God we see him in live action, but I hope maybe we see him in maybe a future animated project. Hell, I'll take a book or comic book as well too, because these guys, even after the end of what happened, Ben is being airlifted out from the airstrip there at the end at Biosin Valley. The fire happened, all the shit too. And the Kenji went with them because they were dark. They were like, hey, in case something happens, in case it happens, someone needs to be there with him. And I'm like, oh my God, I think he might die. Like, I think he's not going to make it, guys. It messed me up pretty hard. And Brooklyn's whole thing too, like she's doing now, like she's more chillaxed. She's more like this, trying to live a life. And I got to mention Brooklyn, be like, come on, Brooklanders. Like, and seeing her in her regular hair, yeah, she lost her arm, but she's recovering. She's got a prosthetic now, like living a peaceful life. Her dads are wanting to help rebuild Biosin Valley. Like, it's really cool to see that. It's really cool to see characters get full thing there. And on that lore aspect of that, they are talking about rebuilding Biosin Valley in this. So we get a better explanation of like, and it's just a sanctuary now. Like at the end of the movie, that fucking shit is burned. You were looking at a severely forest fire driven, and there's a lot of herbivores in there, right? And we got dead dinosaurs, and there's a facility now where dinosaurs are running in it and they can get injured and hurt. What about maybe like, luckily we saw again that veterinary facility, which I love when they do that. I love when they do that, where they had to get Bumpy, Smoothie being in there too. We saw the dad, which apparently from that podcast I've been listening to, his name's Blender, apparently. Who would have thought that? Yeah, the Ankylosaurus male, who is Smoothie's dad. Yeah, he's Blender. I fucking love that. So we see a lot of that. We see species we've seen throughout. There's new Sycamimus, the Pachyrhinosaurus, the Triceratops, Sinoceratops. The Arizonosaurus came in, of course, and wrecked it up. Really emphasized that it's blind factor though, right? It really did with that. But I was saying, yes, so they talk about how Biosin Valley is going to be rebuilt, like they're working on fixing it up there. And as I was mentioned before, the other tangent, I go on fucking tangents in case you didn't know. The kids, they're adults. The main characters, the ones that were left in the airstrip, Brooklyn, yeah, Sammy, Darius, like they went in to help Biosin workers that were still behind, that weren't shady, that were just regular workers saying, we have dinosaurs that need help, and we don't have any of our experts here right now. They're all gone. Like, we need to help them. And they all went in to help. Their friend got escorted in a helicopter and they went in to help, man. That's fucking great. I would have done the same. Would have been like, all right, cool. What do we need to do? As we're looking at it too there, we had such a great time here with the dinosaur factor of things, which we've got to talk about here on the podcast. Well, on the YouTube show. Dinosaur behavior was amazing. Quetzalcoatl is going to town, trying to poke its head into things in the research station, messing that up, flying around. But then, they hit it with 3 tranquilizer darts, but, anesthesia being what it is, it's not an exact science. And they've talked about that in the show, which is amazing. Check out my previous talks in the other seasons and Camp Cretaceous. I think you really enjoy it. So it took some time for it. Again, bird biology with anesthesia is also very weird. I can tell you that from medical experience. Very weird. But it's technically a flying reptile, so reptiles are even worse than birds. Yeah, with anesthesia, it's rough science. So that being said, too, we see it slowly go down. It lift up a truck, of course, which probably wouldn't have been able to lift up a Jeep. I get that. I know that. But still, it's Jurassic. We can take some leeways with that shit. And eventually going down, the Giganotosaurus arriving and we see the one-on-one confrontation, the behavior interaction with Dodson and Kenji and other workers of Giga versus the Giganotosaurus versus the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rexy, by the way, the OG Rex that we've seen throughout all the movies. Jurassic Park is the one from Jurassic Park. She was in World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, Nine Rebirth, a different one. And then she was transferred to the Sanctuary and whatnot. It's just it's such a good time to see her. And she had such moments in there of like surviving on her own, trying to still like, hey, fuck you. Like, it was a behavior interaction I would have seen as a zookeeper with crocodiles back in the day. So seeing that was just absolutely amazing. And then we had the factor of, hey, we're gonna see the Giga die. We did see the Giganotosaurus dead, of course, in Biosin Valley, but we saw the Dilophosaurus do pack hunting again. Then leading to Dodson's death was also very, very cool too. And you heard the screams. You're like, oh yeah, that's good. He's dying, because he still wasn't a character in the show. He very much was. And again, we saw Suchomimus again. We saw Therizinosaurus again, who got it to do. Like, these animals and prehistoric creatures that we saw in there. We didn't see the Metrodon, but apparently that was the thing that just couldn't have time. The herbivores in there. We saw Tyrannosaurus was also in there as well too, which we hadn't seen since Camp Cretaceous days. So that was also neat to see like these animals that we saw a little bit there. I mean, I would have flipped shit if we saw Toro. That would have been cool, but we didn't, and that's still all right. We did get to see though the other Rexes that live in there. Supposedly it's the Buck and Doe from the Lost World movie, but it doesn't look like it. That's a whole other thing. Sorry about that. The dogs decided to go a little bit wild outside of the little studio here. But that being said, yeah, it definitely was neat to see that. I don't think it's Buck and Doe, but we can maybe pretend until I hear like severe confirmation and whatnot. But that's a whole other thing. Yeah, it was nice to see that, and some animals behave like animals. There's a little bit of the Jurassic flair on some of the dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures there, but it still gave us epic shots. It gave us epic cinematography with them. It gave us animals being animals. It gave us the hunting maneuvers. It gave us all of what we wanted. And it just makes me sad because we're not going to be doing it anymore. I was texting a couple friends of mine in the community. I'm like, hey, yeah, well, look at this. What do you think there? And it's been, it's definitely an interesting time with it. And I can't wait to see what they do next. I think everyone at the DreamWorks team here did an amazing, beautiful finale here. The actors did great. I mean, hell, I even liked the guy who we met at the Dinosaur Now group that was from before with the raptor masks that you can buy as a toy, which was kind of a nice little touch, by the way. And you saw him with Brooklyn, and I forgot about, oh yeah, she gave a fake name, like you saw all that too. And like they met random scientists there who are like, yeah, we don't talk that much, but also we're scared shitless right now because everything's going wrong. The locust fire seemed almost more terrifying, by the way. The fiery locust from Dodson seemed more terrifying in this than it did in the movie. It's wild. It is absolutely wild. But this is where I'm going to end it here, though, everybody, for Chaos Theory Season 4, the final one in this Jurassic World installment. Again, I hope we see some more animated stuff, a live-action TV show maybe or something. I firmly believe we can do a Jurassic World Rebirth prequel where we saw that island. I'm gonna blank on the name, but we see the island when the D-Rex gets out and causes all sorts of havoc there. We can see that movie. That is a movie, and I want to see it, or a comic even, or a book, like any of that shit. But I really, really hope we get to see more of these characters. And yeah, let me know what you all think down in the comment section down below. Everybody, be sure to leave a like. My social media, my Twitch, CodaRex97, Instagram at Dakota_Morgan97, and my ex is all, not my ex-girlfriends or anything like that, but the social media network X is in the description. That's such a terrible dad joke. In the description box down below as well. Be sure to subscribe, everybody, for more Dino Times, as well as more paleo stuff here on the channel, and video games, lore pod, and much, much more. Thanks, everybody, as always. And remember, science is real.